Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. Today's a twofer. This morning is at least. You get this video and you get one over on the backup channel. I'll put a link to that video below so you guys can just go straight to it. If you haven't subscribed over there, obviously you're not going to get a notification or whatever, but that's a video I think you might want to watch. There's reasons it's over there and not over here, too. The one I want to talk about this morning is something that's very simple, yet goes overlooked a lot of times. And it's something that's very important and free, okay? And it comes with your knowledge and kind of being safe, protecting yourself. And it's about your property, okay? And this is whether or not you live in the city, the suburbs, the country, the moon, wherever, okay? And it's how to protect yourself from unwanted guests on your property. Now, I know there's a lot of people going, I got unwanted guests on a property, I'm just going to show them what a shotgun looks like or something. Okay, probably not the best idea, okay? At least not right now. There's still laws in this country, okay? But simple little things that you can do, but knowing what the limitations are on them, all right? And I'm going to start with just a couple of basic ones, okay? Is signs on your property. Putting a no trespassing sign on your property. Putting that up does give you standing, okay? It goes without saying that nobody can be on your property without your permission, within reason, okay? The meter reader can come on your property and check your electric meter or whatever it would be. The electric company can come and check the power lines, whatever it would be. But putting the sign up tells your nosy neighbor, no, they can't. And when you've told him 4 times to get off my property, not the get off my lawn crap, I'm not that old. But when you've told him and he says, well, I didn't know, at least you have somewhat of a defense when you call the cops and say, tell the guy the sign's been up in my yard for 6 months, a year, whatever it is, and he's ignoring it. And then the cops can deal with it, okay? Another one is another sign to put up. And this one you got to be careful with, okay? And a lot of people like to have the sign up that says, beware of dog. That is not a good sign to have. And I know this is going to get into a little bit of wokeism as why, but we know how the courts are going more and more woke. By putting up a sign that says, beware of dog, that's inherently saying or implying that you know the dog is dangerous. So you're better off putting a sign up that says, guard dog on duty, okay? It's not saying, by saying beware, that's you telling other people my dog is dangerous. By saying guard dog on duty, all you're doing is telling somebody there's a dog there. Okay? So use those to your advantage. Now, where does the line get drawn on trespassing? Okay? And each state's different, and I'll link something below where you guys can take a look for your own state. But as a general rule, anybody that's on your property without your permission or that you have previously given permission but now have asked to leave, they are now trespassing. Okay? And you can call the police and have them removed. Okay, now, of course, if it gets violent or something like that, then you get into castle doctrine and stand your ground and everything like that. That's a total different animal. But I'm talking about the homeless guy who decides to pitch a camp in your front yard, the protesters that decide that they're going to use your front yard as a staging area to protest the 7-Eleven across the street or whatever it would be. Okay, you can tell them to move. Now, a lot of questions come up about the police. I'm going to give you this. The police they have slightly more ability to trespass on your property than your neighbor, okay? Your neighbor has no reason to come on your property for any reason unless you invite them. The police can. For example, if they're chasing a suspect and the suspect runs across your yard, yes, the police have the right to run across your yard and chase the suspect. They don't have to go around because you have a no trespassing sign. Okay. If the police come knock on your door and have a warrant, yes, they have a right. Nope, you can tell you're trespassing. Like, we got a court order. Sorry, not going to happen. But the old knock and talk, gee, we want to just come knock on your door and, talk to you. Again, we've talked about this before. Never open the door unless you have called the police. If you've called the police to come to your house, yes, you're expecting them. Cop shows up on the front door, you talk to him through the door. Because as soon as you open the door, I guarantee you the first place he puts his foot, and this is how they're trained, is on the threshold. That way, if you try to close the door, now they've got you for assaulting a police officer. I'm just telling you, okay? This is how this works. You talk to him through the door. If you don't want to talk to the cop, you ask him to identify myself. Hi, this is Joe, Sergeant Joe Smith of the Timbuktu Police Department. I have nothing to say to you. Have a nice day. Please get off my property. And unless he has a warrant, he has to. Okay. If he says, sir, I have a warrant to search these premises, sir, I have a warrant to arrest you, yes. Now he can come in. Now he can break your door down if he has to, whatever. He's presented it to you. The big question always comes up with apartment owners, okay, is can the landlord who owns the apartment or is managing the apartment, can they let the police in your apartment? No, okay? A landlord gives up their right to entry to that apartment without your permission when you sign that lease, okay? The police still need a warrant to get in. You see this on TV, cop shows all the time. Oh, let's go to the landlord. The landlord's got keys and the landlord will let us in. Poof, illegal search. End of story. There's no question. Unless the cop, there's only 3 reasons that a cop can go into an apartment. The tenant, okay, you, give them the right to go in. They've got a warrant to go in. Or there is a situation that is immediate harm is going to be caused. The house is on fire. Yes, they can go in. Okay. There's a kidnapping going on. You've been kidnapped. Yes, they can go in. Okay. But, gee, we smell something in the air around here. Let's go get the manager and knock on each one of the doors. And if no's there, let us in. That doesn't fly. Okay. We talk about security all the time, about cameras, about lights, about weaponry, whatever it is. But you need to know the laws as to what you can do and what you can't do to get somebody off your property, okay? If one of these 87,000 IRS agents comes up on your door and knocks on the door, tell them to leave. They're trespassing. That IRS agent is not getting a warrant to come check out your taxes, okay? Somebody comes and knocks on your door and says, we're here to J.B. Pritzker, Illinois. We're here to see if you've registered your weaponry. No. Got a warrant? No. Goodbye. Off my property. If they won't leave, then you call the police. Then you call the sheriff's office and say, I have trespassers on my property right now that are claiming to be with the insert agency here. I've asked them to leave. They won't. The sheriff will come out and remove them. If they have a warrant, if they have legal court-ordered documentation to come onto your property, they will show it to you. If they don't and they don't leave, they are trespassing. And then you just say, hang on, I'll be right back. Hi, Sheriff's Department. I have trespassers on my front porch. Make sure they can hear it. Watch how fast they leave. Okay. If they don't, let them stay there. Let them answer to the cops. Okay. Not all cops are bad. Okay. If the city police show up, call the sheriff's department. If the feds show up, call the sheriff's department. If the sheriff's department shows up, call the city police. Don't call the same entity or whatever, whoever it would be. Okay. But not all cops are your enemies, unless they're FBI. But take a look at what I'm putting below. Know what your rights are. Just forewarned is forearmed. If you know, because remember, they're not going to tell you. They're going to take advantage of everything you can. Can we come in? Sure. Oh, gee, you know what? I see you have a box of 5.56 ammo around there. Let's say you're in Illinois. Do you have any weapons for that? They've got probable cause now. Okay. You've given them a reason to come in. Do not ever give them the reason to come in. Good way to keep the cops off your property, too. Don't commit any crimes. But just saying, because as y'all know, as much as, the public tries to make preppers out as we're all these whack job militia members and anti-government anarchists and everything like that, which is about the furthest thing from the truth. But that's how they try to paint that picture of us. Just know your rights. I'll put the link to the other video below. I'd advise you to go check that one out. Have a good morning. Pinball out.